Hey guys, I'm Justin.
I'm Lee. I'm Eric.
Carl.
And today we are going to have a brand new episode of Welcome to Horrorland. Today we're going to go over our Valentine's horror. If you have a significant other to spend Valentine's Day with and you just don't want to watch those romance movies, here's some horror movies, some slashers, some blood and gore that you guys can watch. So join us and we'll go over some stuff.
Welcome to Horrorland.
So as I said, if you have a thirst that needs quenching on Valentine's Day, where you don't want to watch The Notebook, you don't want to watch your 50 Shades movies, then you want to watch something horror, we have the movies for you. So I'm uploading this, as you guys can tell, a little bit earlier this week in hopes that Valentine's Day is this Friday. Hopefully you guys can have time to get through and find some of these and watch them. There, I'm sure, are going to be ones that we're missing. I can think of two right off the top of my head, but we tried to hit some of the big ones.
Yeah.
So
I had a couple that I was like,
yeah.
Woulda, coulda, shoulda.
We can do an honorable mentions section at the end. But I mean, what makes a Valentine's Day horror movie? I mean, we kind of tried to pick ones that took place on Valentine's Day. There's one that has nothing to do with Valentine's Day in here, but it's all about love and you know. So I mean,
For some of us.
Yeah. Yeah, some of us didn't like it.
I don't know who that would be.
We'll get into that one here in a minute. So instead of going the obvious route, which I think most people would expect us to go, and saving the best for last, we'll do probably one of the greatest slashers that just happens to be a Valentine's movie. We'll go over it first, and that will be My Bloody Valentine, the original from 1981, an absolute classic. So I mean, there's 1,000,001 reviews of this on YouTube. We'll talk about it, but I don't think any of us are going to spend a whole lot of time on this one.
Yeah, we're not going to break any new ground, I'm pretty sure.
No.
Everybody
I've never seen it.
Oh, is that so down there?
Yeah.
Lightning's going to strike him dead.
There you go. In the 80s, I mean, one of the absolute best horror slashers in general. And then you add the fact that it's Valentine's Day, and it is the greatest Valentine slasher.
Oh, it may be the greatest Valentine horror movie ever.
It's just the idea at that time, it was on the heels of Halloween that started the holiday slasher.
Mm-hmm.
And then shit, you had New Year's Evil, Christmas Evil, all this shit. And then this comes out. And it rocked it. It was completely different. You know, it was nothing you would ever. I mean, what the hell? It's in a coal mine. Yeah. You know, and it was just a great movie from beginning to end.
Honestly, I'd say that the costume is one of the more menacing costumes that's ever been worn by a slasher. If you think about it, I mean, even the hockey mask, which is world famous, I don't know that it's any scarier than that right there is. I mean, watching somebody come at you with a respirator on and a headlamp will scare the shit out of anybody.
And the fact I've seen people at conventions that cosplay that, and when they do,
they're creepy.
If you'll notice, they do this down to the exact same lantern, the exact same respirator case, the exact pickaxe. I mean, it's unreal the detail they go through. And this was a little no-budget horror movie. I mean, it was made for
and grew into one of the greatest. I mean, honestly, one of the greatest slashers ever made.
The great thing about this is, with this, you know, in a lot of the horror movies here, they have to fake, kind of, I don't want to say fake, but they add a little breathing in, just like with, you know, I mean, you name any horror movie, you can think of, you know, there's no faking with this because you're breathing through a respirator, so it comes across as a natural, creepy effect that comes across.
I think what's creepier for me is you can't see their eyes.
Like you can't see his eyes. You don't know what's in there.
Correct.
It's just like dead space. And honestly, the kills
are great.
Kills are great. I mean,
this doesn't really
killed Sylvia in the shower. We just drove her head up on that. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah, I love the ending with the twist too. I mean, definitely not the first horror film to have a twist, but it was one of the first. In all honesty, most of them were at this point had
pretty
been.
Straightforward.
This is the slasher you knew who it was. This one, you think you know who it is until the very end, and then they kind of throw it at you. And I mean, even to this day, I mean, this was in '81, so you know. All these years later, it still works.
It does.
This is not a movie I watch all the time personally. I like it, but I don't watch it every year. So I forget a lot about it from time to time. So kind of going back and watching it, I'm like, damn, that still works. Even though I've seen it 10 times, I don't.
44 years later, it still holds up. Yeah, it plays well.
Yeah, you know what I mean. And like I said, I watch it about every 4 years. Every 3 or 4 years, I get around to watching it, and I mean, the things that you forget, it still works on all those levels. So.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of it takes place in a mine too, which anybody that's ever been in a mine will tell you it's creepy. You ain't gotta do any music. You don't have to do anything like that. The mine itself is creepy.
And just some of the kills that were just, some of them were just brutal. Man, when he killed Hollis's girlfriend with the pickaxe in the hall, I mean, you could feel like she really got hit in the guts with that pickaxe. And then
everybody has a different.
The damn nail gun to the head. I mean, that'd be a horrible way to die. You know, it's all of there was no good way to die in that movie.
No.
And it's been a favorite of mine since it came out, and I watch it. I don't know. I watch it probably once a month. I got like a core 30 movies.
Well, we were talking about it on the way up here. That it's probably in your top 5.
Oh yeah, easily.
Something like that. I would
it's
say.
Easily my top 5. It was. I thought it was really. It was creative. It was inventive. I thought the acting went really well. I thought it was really well done, and I just loved it. It was. It was something new. It was a holiday. Like I said, we've been through Halloween and Christmas and New Year's and all that, and here's something completely different. And it was one, and let's be honest, a lot of those holiday movies sucked.
A lot of them weren't great.
Yeah, a lot of them weren't great. This one knocked out the park.
It's a Canadian production.
Yeah, sure was. That was back in the day when it was cheaper to film in Canada than in the U.S.
It still is cheaper to shoot in Canada. That's why a lot of productions are moved over there.
I mean, you look at all and just a little side note, you look at all the movies that were filmed there. Some of the, Meatballs. I love that movie. That was filmed in Canada.
Sex comedy kind of.
It was just a great time for cinema. For horror fans.
As Lee watches more and more of these, she gets to where she jumps less and less, and again, 40.
Desensitized. I can't say the word, but
desensitized.
Yeah.
40. As we said, 44 years later, and she still jumped on where they're in the mine cart and they're going down, and all the clothes fall on them. She's like, get that line, and then all of them fall all at once. That got her. So I mean, again, when you take a movie that's 44 years old and you're still getting jump scares out of it, clearly they did something right.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
So we move on from that. Again, these are not in really any kind of order. We'll try to group these and keep them together, though. You had My Bloody Valentine, but then many, many, many years later, you have a remake here with the My Bloody Valentine 3D. This one was made, what year, guys? 2009. Yeah. Nowhere near as good as the original, but still pretty good for a remake.
They
changed the story.
Movie for me and my wife.
See, I disagree. I like the remake better, but
I hate
blasphemy.
I hate remakes. Everybody knows that. If you've ever watched one of our podcasts,
I typically do too. But
negative pain in the ass. But I will have to say I don't like it better. I don't like it as well, but I like it as a whole. Parts
they
of
did
it
a good
bug
job
me.
of it.
The whole in the cage, out of the cage. Is he the killer? Is he not the killer? Is it Harry Warden? Is it that kind of drove me nuts because it's so damn convoluted. But
I thought the actors did good. I mean, I love Jensen Ackles, but him being the psychotic, kind of schizophrenic, I don't know, that really took me out of it.
Yeah, it didn't play well.
It didn't. I would have much rather it been just kind of straightforward. But again, I understand what they were doing in 2009. They weren't just trying to rewrite the book with the same amount of pages and the same amount of wording. They were trying to change some things up because pretty much every remake that had been before it had really just stayed true to form and just a straight remake, and they had kind of bombed. So I mean, we understand why they did it, but yeah, definitely I like it, but definitely nowhere even remotely close to me.
Did you
the
watch
original.
it in 3D?
Yeah,
I did not, because I have seen it in 3D before, but we did not watch it that way.
The 3D version is incredible.
It really is, because I saw it in the movie theater.
Yeah.
The very first scene of that where they throw the pickaxe out the window.
That's great.
Jessica was in the floor. She was in the floor. She goes, "Oh my god!"
I've seen it in 3D before, but I can't stand to sit and wear those glasses.
Yeah.
So
I mean, Tom Atkins,
yeah,
super stud.
yeah.
He's in everything that matters.
We do go a little bit more in depth on My Bloody Valentine, the remake, on our podcast. A few months ago, we did a 2000s remakes. We go more in depth on that. So if you want to hear more thoughts and opinions, then by all means go find that video and check them out. But for time, we're going to run through and skip on to the next one because we've got several things that we haven't talked about before. So the next one, again, kind of keeping it with these, we will do the fan film of Valentine Bluffs. This one is, I'm not sure, I think 2022, 2023, something like that. Terror strikes again 40 years later, 40. So, a fan film off My Bloody Valentine. I contacted the director to order us all three a copy of these. This is free on YouTube, though, if you want to go check it out. I can't say that I'd recommend checking it out. I mean, if you're a fan of fan films, then check it out. But this one, this one's low on fan films.
We talked about this pretty in depth on the way up here. I like to support whenever somebody, but I can't lie and sit here and tell you that I thought it was a good film. I didn't think it was a bad film either. I just thought it was just run of the mill for me. I didn't see anything that stood out about the film.
Now, with me, as we know, I don't like remakes. I don't none of that crap. But I will say, there's a few of the kills I thought they recreated really well, and I really appreciated.
That was the best part of the film. Was they really shot all that very well.
The kills were great.
The kills were good. It was filmed really well. I think the cast was competent. Some of the things that really irritated the shit out of me was the whole thing with Sylvia in the closet with hanging on the shower head. They would have never let that. TJ and Sarah would have never have tolerated that kind of a museum or a memoriam of that. I mean, this is 40 years after a freaking massacre. You're not going to celebrate that shit. No. But at the same time, I got what they were doing. I understand it was a continuation piece, not a remake. And I bought it. I'm glad I got it. I'll watch it again. I'm not sorry I haven't.
Definitely paid homage to.
Yeah,
I mean, they did a good job at paying homage to, and they name dropped a few of the other people in there to make it. Some fan films don't do that. It's just simply we like Friday the 13th, and this is our vision of it, but we don't have $1 million budget. This one is definitely a labor of love. You can tell that they really enjoyed it.
Absolutely.
Enjoyed it.
I agree with that.
Yeah. And I mean, like I said, the kills are great, but
everything was good individually. If you look at it, the acting was good. The cinematography, the special effects were good. The cinematography was good. But as a whole, sometimes the truth of the matter is, even though you have all these parts that are good, it doesn't make a good movie.
Yeah. They don't. It doesn't. Like I said, I told you a couple of the things that I had a hard time with. I just didn't agree with. But you know what? It's an independent film, and I'll support that all day.
Absolutely. I'm glad we've got a copy of it. It'll go right in my collection. That's for sure.
Yep. Anything to add? You're being kind of quiet.
Me? I mean, I didn't care for it, but I'm not a big fan film person, so.
I knew she didn't. So
yeah, I mean, I'm just not. Probably never will be, but I'll keep watching them right in there with you.
Yeah.
And that ray of sunshine that starts this damn podcast.
There you go. All right, moving right along. So the My Bloody Valentines, we kind of lumped those into three. We have the original, the remake, and the fan film. Next up, our stacks are a little different.
I just, like I said, I have Love at First Bite and
what would do Love at First? I've actually never seen Love at First Bite.
Okay,
go ahead and do it.
This would be fairly short because I'm just going to tell you, I rewatched it today. It has not aged well.
No.
It was made in, I think, 1980 or 1981, but it filmed like they filmed it in the mid-70s. So everybody's got on leisure suits in it. It has not aged good. They use a lot of Jewish slang. I have no idea why.
Yiddish.
But it is funny. I mean, that's the reason why I picked it out. I thought it's a cute little... My memory, like I said, the first time I saw it, I laughed all the way through. Then when I rewatched it, I was like, whoo, boy.
It's rough.
It would not fly today, some of the stuff they did in this movie. But anyway, it was cute, and it's funny. And I do recommend it for those of you that can get over, like my wife, she would have watched this for 5 minutes and go, Well, I'm way too young for this movie. So if you can get over the time frame, you'll be fine and you'll love it. It's funny. But if you can't, then don't even bother. It's George Hamilton in a
bad leisure
all jet decked out in the whole Dracula attire. If anybody knows who George Hamilton is, that in itself was a joke because he's famous for his tan and he's playing Dracula. But anyway, that's all I really have to say about it.
Me and Lee did one that you guys said that y'all don't have. We did Lover's Lane. So Lover's Lane from the, I don't know if this is late 90s, early 2000s. It'll take me 99. So from 1999, I enjoy that movie. I don't know if Lee, did you enjoy it? Or
Yeah, it was alright.
So essentially what it is
the enthusiasm goes.
Yeah.
So
I didn't poke my eyes
Better than stab.
Lover's Lane is a hill where all of the kids go to make out, and on Valentine's Day, a man and a woman are up there, and they are brutally slain. I think it's 13 years later. The children of the people that are up there, I guess you could say, are in high school together. They hate each other, and they wind up getting all together as a group on Valentine's Day to go up to Lover's Lane and have a party. And of course, the killer is back. Even though they felt that they had caught the killer and put him in an insane asylum, we have a breakout. And then, of course, just slaughter ensues up on Lover's Lane. So, we're all pretty good. I think this was another Canadian film, as we had kind of talked about on My Bloody Valentine. Decent gore. The acting's just not really anyone notable in it that I can think of off the top of my head.
I mean, if you're going to have to die, that's a good way to go.
There you go. No, overall, it's really decent. And I mean, it's not a lot. When you hear Lover's Lane, you think, oh, that's probably like a nudity-infused blood fest. And it's really not. It would be like a really good, like, teenage movie. Like, if you are...
So on the booba meter, it's like way down here.
Yeah. Like, I mean, if you're like, 17, 18, 19, somewhere around in there, and you're looking for a horror film, that would be one. If you're not into like all the
but if you're a
nudity and
62-year-old pervert, it's probably not going to fly.
I mean, probably not.
No wonder we don't have it. Now we know why we don't have it in our collection.
Yeah,
Damn, I missed a sale.
Dang.
I got 2 copies if you guys want it.
Oh, I don't fly Hooter free.
Lord. What else you got? We got Dracula. Yeah, you brought Dracula. Yeah.
Okay. I added this one in, guys, at the last minute because we all have seen it at some point or another.
Oh, yeah.
I would imagine.
Multiple times.
Even the
I don't know if I've seen that particular
Yes, we
one,
did.
but I
You
have
have.
seen, yes.
You have seen that? Okay. To be honest with you, for me personally, it's probably the greatest love story of all time. A lot of people would think of it as just a strict horror movie, but please.
The Crow is the best love story.
Oh,
He
no.
came back from the dead to kill a bitch.
He
over
crossed
that.
oceans of time.
He come back
to-
from
for his
hell.
woman. He crossed oceans of time.
Oh my god! I think we should hold hands.
Anyway.
This is the end of Welcome to Horrorland because Carl and Eric had a fight.
But anyway, like
I
I
thought it was
said,
going to be me that caused it.
Oh, you still will. Wait till our next film. Continue on, Eric.
This is true.
anyway, I felt like it was a very good film to include.
Yeah.
It's without a doubt the greatest filming of Dracula they've ever.
Well, you think it's a
Easy.
200-year-old love story.
Yeah.
And people forget she was 19 when she wrote that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's freaking incredible.
Yeah.
19-year-old girl, Mary Shelley.
Mary Shelley didn't write that.
No, not Mary Shelley.
That's the one story.
That's Bram Stoker.
She had just turned 19 when that was written. It was crazy. I read a big old long thing about Bram Stoker,
Yeah.
how he was in love with Mary Shelley, and a whole bunch of stuff that he had done. And then when they were making this movie, what's his name? Gary Oldman got so deep into this that he couldn't. They said it was hard to separate him from the movie when they were filming. It was weird.
A little fun fact about this movie, or at least it was a fun fact for me, because I got online today. I was like, I wonder what people have to say. Maybe I'm biased. Maybe I just think it's the greatest Dracula movie ever. Maybe I don't know. So I got on to Reddit, and boy, who would have thought Gary Oldman was a sex symbol? But the amount of women on there that were talking about how sexy he was in this movie is outrageous. I'm like, the same Gary Oldman that was like really old and all this stuff. I'm like, what? Yes. I mean, women were thirsting over this dude.
Yeah.
Talking about it may be the sexiest man
When he
alive.
had, he had the long hair and the blue round glasses.
Yeah,
and all
boy,
that.
I mean, girls were digging it. Hardcore.
He's no Jason Statham. But anyway.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Glenn Powell. You know.
Moving right along.
The nausea just hit.
Sorry.
So, when we decided to do this series, they had just released a new edition of this at Walmart, and I saw it, and I was like, hey, I need to pick that up for the Valentine's episode, and we need to watch it. The one person out of the table of four that I thought was really going to get behind this movie, and when we get done watching it, and she says, I didn't like it. I didn't get it. I thought it was dumb, and
What the hell?
it's warm bodies. Yeah, what the hell?
The old grumpy, crusty bastard thought it was cute.
Yeah.
It just goes to show you who's the romanticist of these groups.
Exactly. The hell.
Apparently, it's not the hard heart of females.
Her heart will not go on over that one.
So, I mean, Warm Bodies is fun. I didn't think I was going to like it going in. I'd always heard a lot about that movie, and I was like, that's one movie I will never watch. But when we decided to do this episode, I was like, you know what? I'll watch it. We'll see what it's like. And I enjoyed it. I mean,
I did too. I
didn't
actually
hate
thought
it.
it was kind of sweet.
Yeah.
It's based off a book, if I remember correctly. And
I freaked out. I was like, I'm not going to like this.
No,
I was
yeah.
like, then I started watching it. It was kind of funny.
Yeah.
You know, I dug the zombies.
I dug that they could communicate with
Yeah,
each
The
other. That was
zombies kind of
first-
reminded me of Shaun of the Dead a little bit.
That's
Yeah.
what, yeah.
Yeah.
But then the end, when R gets shot by her dad, you know, and he's really bleeding, I was like, oh, kind of made me reclamp.
Yeah. And Lee was just like, shoot him again!
Shoot him again!
Get in the movie, please do.
And shoot that bitch he's with in the head.
I can appreciate what they were trying to do, but
Not what
like,
you said the other night.
zombies don't talk, and they don't.
They were evolving. That was the whole point
I
of the
know.
movie.
Wasn't it like really more of a
Proving
run
that
kind of a
love
thing?
At the beginning, it was a
conquers all.
run, but
Yeah.
at the end, like.
Yeah, they were communicating.
Because they were
fully
getting
communicating.
smarter. They
I
were becoming
know,
more
they were
human.
becoming human again.
Yeah, but the way they were becoming human again is because they were interacting with humanity.
They were
And then
finding love
Now I'm
again.
going to get all deep and shit and ruin everything about me.
This movie was very philosophical.
They were dealing with humanity again on a level that was equal. They weren't being scorned and killed.
The point was,
And
love conquers all.
That's it right there. Love whooped dead out these bitches.
That was the whole point of the whole movie. I think somebody missed the point. Love conquers all.
And it's sad that the three boys that hate every damn thing figured this out. And while Rose Blossom down here shit on our dreams.
And all she can say is zombies don't talk. The fuck?
I feel like that during Titanic, she was the one up on the deck going. But this movie, she's like,
Jump, bitch!
yeah.
This episode's gone off the rails.
Little did we think this would be the spur. Yeah. But it was cute. I mean, I dug it for what it was.
Yep.
So 3 cutes, we loved it, and 1.
Yeah.
I'd rather shoot
Right.
a pineapple backwards.
One R.
One arm. That was pretty good. One arm.
Oh, man. All right. So before we get into our last one, we'll do some honorable mentions, I guess. So one honorable mention when I was trying to find this, a lot of people are looking at Lisa Frankenstein and considering it a Valentine
actually
because of
looked
the
at
love story that ensues in it. I can get that.
Yeah.
We watched it. Lee actually enjoyed Lisa Frankenstein when she did Warm Bodies. I don't know.
Well, hell, I mean, if you're going to do that, then Shaun of the Dead. You know, I mean, that's just a love.
That was a bromance more than a love
Yeah, I was about to say that was all about.
Hey,
I
Lee.
love you, but I love my bro
I love
more.
Ed more.
Rose before Rose. Also, one that doesn't get talked about a lot when it comes to Valentine's Day horror is X-Ray. That is actually...
Never saw it. I've never seen that movie.
X-Ray and Schizoid, they're always paired
I've
in
seen
a double
Schizoid,
feature.
but I've never seen X-Ray.
I don't understand why they're always paired, but they are. But yeah, I mean, X-Ray is a Valentine's horror. Basically, I don't remember exactly. I don't remember exactly how the story goes. I know she goes to like they're at a dance, she doesn't dance with him or something, and then years later she goes to the hospital and he has come back and he's lurking on her in the hospital, and she winds up getting admitted, or he admits her. He's not really a doctor. He kills the doctor, dons the uniform, and then he's like, "Oh, your results are back bad, and you have to be admitted." And he winds up kidnapping her and putting her in this hospital, and he's killing all the co-eds and stuff in the hospital. No, I mean it was pretty good.
You remember that movie Dance of the Dead about the zombie apocalypse thing? It's the high school kids, and they're having a high school dance, and the misfits like, "I ain't going to that damn dance. I'm hanging out and playing guitar and stuff." It was kind of, you'll have to look that up. It was actually, it's probably 05 to 10, somewhere in there.
Something like it's not, but Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse, like something kind of like that.
It's really funny. There's a couple of misfit kids that just don't get along with anybody, and they have this big dance at school, and the world goes to shit. Everybody turns into zombies, and these misfits bond up with some of the hot girls and a couple of the cool guys. Oh, it's funny. It's actually pretty decent.
One of the ones I thought of whenever when we were talking about doing this was an oddball. I mean, it was a really weird film that Wes Craven did. Who would have thought Wes Craven would have made a love story out of all the films that he's done?
Yeah.
But Deadly Friend.
Yeah, that was good.
Deadly Friend, y'all ever seen that?
I have not.
That's old.
I don't think I have either.
A dude's in love with a girl, and she dies for some reason. I think her father killed her. By accident, pushed her down the steps and she dies. So in order to save her, well, she's already dead, but he takes the body, steals the body from the morgue, and then puts some kind of electronics in, but it's not her anymore. It's like a electronic version of her, and she goes on a rampage, kills all kinds of people and all this.
That's what I'm talking.
But he keeps hiding her from everybody, because they're trying to figure out who's doing all the killing. He keeps hiding her because he's in love with her. It's the weirdest movie Wes Craven.
And see, I want a chick like that can defend me when my old ass needs it.
Well, she was throwing people through walls and stuff, so it'd have been a good one for you.
That's what we need. I want me a digital battery, bitch.
All right. So the last movie on our list, at least for Valentine's, and a high recommendation, I think, from everyone at the table, is Valentine.
A little on the nose, if you ask me, Valentine.
Yeah, well, what can we say? I enjoyed. I mean, to me, Valentine is one of my favorites of all time. Not just as that slasher, a holiday slasher, but as a slasher in general. I think part of it's nostalgia. That was one of the first 4 DVDs ever in my horror collection.
Yeah.
It was the old snapper case. I had it, 13 Ghosts, Ghost Ship, and I don't remember the other one I had. But yeah, those, Fear.com. Those were the first 4 horror films I ever had in my collection. Bought them at Big Lots. I remember very vividly. So that's always been one of my favorites. And so yeah.
Yeah, it was way better. I haven't seen it in probably 10 years. And I couldn't even remember the movie. I just remember it had Miss Hotness in it. And
this movie had a damn good cast in it.
It did.
I mean,
a lot of them, all the women went on to successful careers. We were actually talking about that on the way up here.
Yeah, Denise Richards. I mean, look at all the shit. All the shit she did.
Catherine Heigl. And there was the other one.
Morley Shelton.
Yeah.
And it was really good.
And then you also had David...
The guy that plays Angel.
David Boreanaz.
Yeah, there you go. He played Angel. He was in Buffy. I mean, he would go on.
That was at the height of his Angel fame right there. That was in the middle of David Fever right there. I remember my wife was very hot for that man.
Yeah, and it was. I didn't remember it. I mean, I honestly didn't remember anything about it. And then it was almost like watching it for the first time again. And then, the whole twist at the end and all that. The kills I thought were really good.
Yeah, the twist at the end, I was
I'm going to tell you right now, one of my, and it's terrible to say it, but it was one of my favorite things ever is watching somebody get beat the hell to death with a steam iron. I'm like, whoop that
Well,
bitch.
he did too. And
I couldn't stand his ass. Oh, I was like, you should have cooked his wiener.
For me personally, to be honest, I ain't gonna lie about it. When I remembered it from years.
Yeah, that's me.
When it first came out, I think was the last time I watched it, and I didn't care for it. So I never bothered. I wanted it for the collection, but I did not want to watch it again. But when I sat down and rewatched it, I actually watched it today. It was far, far better than I had given it credit for. All the acting was superb. I mean, it was fantastic as far as all that. And it seems like I remembered originally I didn't like it. I felt like that it was just too on the nose with everything. Like, you knew whenever somebody walked off by themselves that they weren't coming back. And I thought that there should have been more suspense in there. But on rewatch, there was suspense there. It's just you had to find it within the scene, not building up to it.
Right.
Yeah.
And,
by this point, all pretty much slashers and stuff have become very predictable in the horror genre. So this falls under that. But
there was definitely a formula every 6 to 10 minutes.
I love the nosebleed thing. That really was cool for me. I really liked that. I really liked that they added that little wrinkle in. I thought that was a cool thing that they did to kind of give you an idea of
what's leading where and why.
Yeah, I thought it was neat. I really did.
I feel like a lot of slashers, when they do the whole time jump thing, a lot of them skip something, and I don't feel like this one did. You had the dance. They showed the dance. They kind of showed, him going up to each individual girl. Will you dance with me? And and then years later, and then years later, they kind of go back into it, and you have, and I don't remember character names worth of crap, but you have the girl, and it's kind of towards the end, and they kind of have the big blow up, and she's like, "You were always the smart one. She was always the hot one, and I was just she goes through each of them again, and it just kind of, it adds that to it. And a lot of movies they miss stuff like that, and to me, I mean, that's what kind of held this one together. I feel like
they
jumped time, but it was still very cohesive.
Because when you can't remember her being the little dumpy girl from the beginning. Because now
no one looks the same.
That was the only complaint I had in the whole movie. Is I kept to myself the whole time going, now which one of the girls is she? Now the Dennis Richards one, that was very obvious who that was grown up as a child. They picked a fantastic girl to play her.
Yeah.
The other ones, I was like, now who was the bigger dumpy girl that he was making out with, and who? But I mean, in its defense, it does explain it to you very clearly, fairly early on.
Yeah. So and they do a good job of deflecting too, because I mean, up until the very end, you really don't have a clear cut idea of who the killer is, because they do a good job of deflecting it. Like, it could be this one or it could be that one.
I kept thinking it was the guy from the very beginning.
Well,
for a while.
I'll be honest with you. With movies like that, it's very much like whenever they do a movie on TV. The more famous the person is, that's who it's got to be. You know what I mean? Like whenever they have a murderer, the murderer has to be the famous guy. So whenever they said, whenever I saw David Boreanaz, well, there's your killer. And by the end of it, they had me completely thrown off. Because I was like, I guess I'm wrong, because he's there and the killer's over here. So.
And then they do the whole like drinking deflection thing, because then he's drinking and it's like, oh, he's drunk. And then you see the killer and it's like, well, he's drunk. Like, there's no way he's the. So I mean, overall, I mean, I don't know if I had to pick a favorite, it would be between that one and My Bloody Valentine to watch as a Valentine's.
If you were stuck on a desert island, which one would you want with you?
Oh, the original My Bloody Valentine.
I mean, if I was
just Valentine.
And then for me, it would be
just
me, it's nostalgia. I ain't even gonna lie.
Mine would definitely be My Bloody Valentine.
Yeah, I love My Bloody Valentine, but because of nostalgia, mine would have to be Valentine.
Valentine.
But overall,
we agree on something.
Better write that down. Write it down.
I want to know what that cost.
So the moral of this story is, if Lee was stuck on a desert island with warm bodies, she would probably just drown herself.
I myself would watch it deliciously.
Or chop all their heads off.
There you go. Yeah, pretty much. Only way to kill a zombie, right?
I mean, who would ever thought my ass is down there like, that's bad, it's a good movie, I hate everything. It's like, it's cute, there's a love story. I'm like, what the hell's wrong with me? I might have done a drug or two.
It's bad. So anyways, that is 8 films to go over. If you are in the mood for a horror film this Valentine's Day, that's 8 to choose from. Like I said, we did do 3 honorable mentions. So I guess that brings us up to 11. I'm sure there's a million and one others out there.
Oh, there is. a bunch.
I honestly can't think of any more that would really center around Valentine's Day off the top of my head. But if you do the research, I'm sure there's more out there.
There's a lot revolving around love stories.
But not a lot of, because technically that's not a Valentine's movie.
No.
Love is love at first bite, isn't it? Neither one of them are centered around Valentine's Day. They're just, it's really more about the love story than it is
Hey,
about
there's
the
warm
horror.
bodies.
And
There we go again.
Nothing says love more than coming back to death from the dead.
Love conquers death. And she's like, no big deal.
You got Eric Draven.
Give me $1 million, then we'll talk about impressed.
I don't know. I mean, this changes things.
I'm not sure what we're going to do with her.
I don't either.
I don't like it.
Next week on 6X Productions.
We're kicking you out. No, we can't do that shit. Next week's is already filmed.
Now, you know what we gotta do now? What? Movies you love to hate.
Yeah, we can do that.
Well, it'll just be the same movie again with Lee.
My pick's Warm Bodies.
I hate warm bodies.
If I feel positive out of his pile, I could come up with some more.
Oh, I'm sure you could.
Oh
You
shit!
should watch Murder Science.
Hey,
Anyway,
I have Barn the Blood Llama.
Yeah, I know. I've seen a piece of it.
But now, see, but you don't love to hate that. You just hate that.
I use it as a tool. I like to hurt
Of
other
torture?
people. Yeah. I remember Eric watched that and he turned and looked at me and he said, "I thought you were my friend."
It almost ruined our friendship. I didn't call him for a while.
Just
I'm going home.
really quiet. He said, "I thought you were my friend." The hell was that?
That was
I
just
said,
mean, is what that was.
I had to sit through it, so I'm trying to make everybody else do it.
how rude.
He was a turd.
So we will end this episode here. As I said, I think I said it last week. I don't know. But our episodes are all off. Because I actually forgot that we had a collection update last week's video, and we had today's video. So, Demons is coming next week, 100%. No ifs, ands, or buts. Demons is coming. After that, me and Dan will be back with another wrestling review. February of 1999, one again. So that's actually been really fun because we've been able to do a continuation of storylines there for those pay-per-views. After that, we will be doing another collection update, I believe, because that'll put us about the 1st of March. And then after that, we will do our... Hey, I don't have a single thing bought for this month, so don't even look like that. And then after that, we have another one film that got pushed back, and that is independent horror films in our collection. So that was a really fun one.
Yeah.
Can't wait to go over that one as well. So
God, so much stuff in that one.
that's kind of the next month's worth of episodes kind of planned out. After that, the schedule's open. So if you guys want to see something, drop those comments down below. Let us know what you want to see.
Yeah, please do, because it would be fun for you guys to make a recommendation. I think that would be neat.
I'm almost thinking to the comments and say, movies that Lee hates. And then nobody's going to be in it but Lee. She's going to sit in the middle of the table and go, this one, and this
just piles, just surrounded by Blu-ray cases. Basically, when it comes to horror, here are the 3 that don't suck.
We've gotten a lot of really good feedback. Me and Dan have doing Facebook polls and Instagram polls, so we may do something like that also because a lot of people just don't like to comment on videos. I get it, that's fine. So maybe be on the lookout for Facebook polls and stuff like that. Maybe we might do something like that. But if you are a convention goer, though, we have a ton of conventions coming up this next year. I have officially signed contracts for absolutely everything. So we will be March. Help me with the dates, guys. The 20th through the 21st through the 23rd?
Yeah.
21st through the 23rd is Days of the Dead in Atlanta. I'm not going to go over guests. We've already spent time doing that.
February.
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 Yeah,
Sorry. What did I say? January?
Yeah. No, you said April. March. That's what you said.
Oh, good God. Okay.
He's stoned, sorry.
February 21st through 23rd will be in Atlanta.
There you go for Days of the
come
Dead.
get some Mothershucker
March
there.
is Nashville. Correct?
No,
That's April.
Hang on, stop.
March is Evansville.
You're going to give me more off.
Evansville.
February the 21st through the 23rd is Atlanta Days of the Dead. That is at the Cortland Grand Hotel in downtown Atlanta. Again, not going to go over guests. We've done that. Buy your tickets now. They are on sale. They've got a pretty decent guest list. A lot of older people this time from older films.
Old people.
What?
Oh man, that hurt
I'm
my
talking
soul.
about your films that are 40 years old, not your brand new Ty Wests and stuff like that. Chill out down there.
Jesus.
Take you a cookie and a lemonade.
Shit.
Old people.
I didn't say old people like that. I meant older select. Good God. Do I need to cut this and refilm?
Oh, hell no.
People are gonna love this.
This is riding the rails right here, boy. Oh, you senior citizens out there, look at this shit.
Wrong rails
Daddy's
with no
putting up
brakes.
with.
They're gonna have me snorting in a minute. Over here.
Anyways, they have a lot of the generational
movies.
superstars from 40 years ago from like Return of the Living Dead and Hellraiser. Is
There
that
you go.
better?
That sounds much better.
God.
Old people
An
from
asshole down here. Anyway,
There seem to be corpses.
you're saying
They dug them up just so we could be at convention.
Dig them up, prop them up. We get the Burmese.
God. The very next weekend we will be in Evansville. That is March the 1st through the 2nd. Evansville, Indiana for the Evansville Horror Con. That is the old National Events Plaza downtown. I've never been there. Hopefully it looks like a nice building.
And
from
they
the
got a
pictures I've
decent
seen.
little lineup.
They do. They have a very good lineup.
And you think about that's a fairly new convention with 3 years old.
I think this is their third or fourth year, yeah. And then April, Easter weekend, I think that's the 18th through the 20th, if I'm not mistaken. That is the Nashville Full Moon Tattoo and Horror Convention. That is actually shaping up to be a really good convention as well. Ton of Terrifier people, but if you're not into Terrifier, they've actually got some pretty cool
The old
guests.
guy from Shocker's gonna be in it.
Oh, dear God.
Hey, if you come down early, the old guy from Mothershucker's gonna be there.
We do have the old guy from Mothershucker. Carl will be with us then. We turn around and, God, I don't remember the dates for that is all. What are the dates for Nashville, Carl?
Nashville is 18th, 19th, and 20th of April.
That's wrong.
That's the wrong convention.
Wrong Nashville.
Oh, but anyway.
Oh, the other one.
The other Nashville.
It's the week before.
No, it's not.
Isn't it the week before?
The I'm cutting this.
So obviously the Alzheimer's up this end of the town.
Yeah, it's true.
That whole old shit might be well deserved.
If I let Carl make his own plans, we would really be in trouble. I mean, I got to book his own hotel room.
Oh, I'm telling you right now, we ain't making no money. We ain't making no movies. We'll have fun. We might get incarcerated, but shit, I mean.
No, the Nashville Horror Convention is July the 12th and 13th.
What is wrong with me? I was like,
I mean, you weren't even close.
You're
You
like
weren't
2
even
months early over there.
April 26th.
Carl will be in a parking lot by himself going, where's everybody
I
at?
don't know how the hell we're
Where's all the
selling
people?
stuff.
Oh, God. No,
Just
but
made the grocery giver.
the Nashville Horror Convention has a really good lineup, too. They just announced Heather Langenkamp along with Miko Hughes. So those are really, really big for them. That is actually only a second-year convention. So really, really big there. We take a little bit of a break. I think it's August the 1st through the 3rd, if I'm not mistaken, is going to be Flashback Weekend in Chicago. That's always a fun show. We'll see what happens with that one. We've got 3 booths there this year, so expect more stock. Come by, shop with us, and then, of course, we end the year, as we always do, with Scarefest. Again, I don't know the dates for that. What are the dates, Eric? The 18th?
Hey, no, I think you're actually
October the 18th, 19th, and 20th.
19th, and 20th.
There we go. So, again, I have signed the contract for that. We have 3 booths, so as if we don't already have enough stock for that show, expect a whole another booth's worth. We are coming big this year for Scarefest.
Oh, yeah.
that'd
We're
be a
going to
good
have all of our stuff. We're going to have both our movies, T-shirts.
Hopefully by the time Scarefest rolls around, I'm hoping to have
3 movies.
3 movies. So we'll see. But yeah, as I said last week, Twisted Gables is done. That has been a labor of love. I have put everything into that. down here editing, trying to get it done. Lee's been with me every step of the way. That has been a very time-consuming project.
Yeah.
But I'm excited for people to see it. I'm glad with the way that it turned out. Our artwork is back from Terrence Muncie, so we've sent that off to printers. We have sent discs off to our presser who presses the discs, so hopefully those will be in transit here by the end of the week. So we will, come hell or high water, as long as USPS doesn't lose any more of my packages, we will have those Twisted Gables Blu-rays available for Atlanta. I'm doing everything I can to get them here. Like I said, USPS has been just a ball of joy.
Freaking nightmare.
It's been awful. So I'm hoping, we won't get off on that tangent, but I'm hoping that the discs will be here. As long as the mail doesn't mess it up, they will be. So, yeah, that was our comedy-infused list of dates. I need to start writing them down, but I never do so.
Yeah, you can.
And you're relying on the wrong people to remember.
I do pretty good for the most part.
I didn't know what I was done.
Good thing I'm driving to all these. Or
Yeah.
Lee.
Yeah.
I was about to say she drives. What are you talking about?
I'll drive in Nashville and Evansville.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I won't drive
It's
anywhere.
the only
He'll
one-
drive in these small cities before he makes his wife step up to the plate.
You're right. Chicago, she's driving. Atlanta, y'all have that shit. She's
And
driving.
I ride machine gunner, so
I just strap in and
Carl
just
just
hope we
sits in the
don't
back
die
seat and
whenever.
eats extremely hot stuff. And
maybe has accidents.
yeah. Anyways, follow us on all the social media platforms down below. As soon as Twisted Gables is in our hands, it will be on the website. That is also at the link below. As you can see, wearing my Mothershucker t-shirt. Those are available as well. Go on there and grab you one. The Blu-rays are available. We also have Horrorland Media t-shirts. And we don't have the stickers and posters listed. If you want one of those, though, you can always reach out at the email that is down on the bottom of that Horrorland Media Square site. Reach out and we can get you one of those. So, like I said, this video has been uploaded a little earlier this week. That's because we wanted to give you guys a chance to find all this stuff and watch it. I should have a Vinegar Syndrome package in the end of this week, so hopefully we can have 2 videos this week and kind of go over that. But we'll go ahead and end it here. I see the time ticking down over there. We appreciate you guys tuning in and spending a little bit of time with us. Make sure that you give this video a thumbs up. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel and leave us a comment down below. And we'll catch you next week with our Demons episode.
Yeah, and look, peace. Festive. My bloody Valentine. Gutter Garbs. Bye.
There you go. We'll see you later. We'll see you next week, guys.